So this background is what is published by the government on what decommissioning means and how the public can be involved. And you'll hear from panelists today that have real lived experiences through decommissioning that is going to differ from what is written on paper. So what does the US government say? And it's going to come from the US Nuclear Regulatory Commission, or NRC, whose legally mandated job is to protect people and the environment as it relates to commercial nuclear power. So the process is these 5 generic steps, from notifying the public that the shutdown is going to happen, to actually turning it off and making it safe, which is about 2 years to start the work. Step 3 is coming up with a detailed license termination plan and the decommissioning plan and getting that approved by the NRC. And then step 4 is implementing the plan. That's going to be the long pole in the tent, thing that takes the longest. And then at the very end of all of these processes, the decommissioning should be complete, and it's supposed to take no more than 60 years. There are different options that decommissioning companies can choose from to decommission a nuclear power plant. The 2 are safe store and decon. They differ a little bit. Safe store is often referred to as dismantling. That's when the facility is maintained and monitored in a condition that allows the radioactivity to still be contained while it decays and theoretically becomes less radioactive. Decon is tearing down the whole structure and getting everything out of the property that has potential radioactivity. Of the 26 reactors that have been decommissioned in the US so far, or are in the process of doing so, 10 have selected that safe store option and 16 have selected that decon, full dismantling option. So the NRC expresses good intentions on their website and what they say in public statements about what the public participation should look like in a decommissioning. They use an approach to open government, and there's lots of descriptions that they will put out about their desire to create broad access for the public to be involved. What are the written opportunities that are legally required to be available to the public to involve themselves during a decommissioning? Well, we talked about the steps. At step 2, when that reactor is being turned off, that can take up to 2 years. At the completion of that step, there's supposed to be a public hearing that takes place at a location close to the nuclear power plant, so the local community can attend. And then there's a similar meeting held at the end of that 3rd step, which is when the plan has already been created and approved by the NRC. So at these stages, the public is sort of just receiving the news and not really participating in the decision making. And then if there are any amendments to any of the plans throughout the process, like if they come up with encounter barriers or financial troubles and they need to change their plan, then a hearing has to be scheduled after that. Those amendments have been approved by the NRC. And then if the community is loud enough, which a lot of the folks in this room are brave and capable of being loud enough, then you'll get an additional meeting. And the NRC actually makes this statement that the NRC may hold more meetings if local interest is high. There's also the Nuclear Decommissioning Committee Advisory Panel, NDCAP. You might hear that term a lot during this webinar. Different communities that you're going to hear from today, that is their outlet, a monthly meeting, sometimes a quarterly meeting, where they are able to get in the room with the decision makers and express how they feel about the ongoing decommissioning of the plant.
Sarah, we got just about another minute, if that.
Okay, perfect. This is my last slide. So the public is allowed in the room, sometimes. But as you'll hear today, are we really being heard? And these images are supposed to sort of portray a little bit of how we feel when it comes down for the decommissioning to actually take place. And I'll pass it off to Oleg.